Oh, hey there. Didn't see you come in. Welcome to Studio NPL. I'm Chris, and this is Will.
Hey guys, today we're going to show you how to use an Xbox Kinect to 3D scan and print your friends, make little models like this.
So we're going to be using printers like this and a scanner like that, and in the end we're going to have results like this. So if you guys are ready, why don't you come join us over here and we'll go ahead and get started.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go, Will.
Let's go.
Hey, thanks for joining us over here at the scanning station. So something important before we get started. Powering the Kinect and hooking up to the laptop is important before opening up Kinect. If you don't do that first, the Kinect program, it won't recognize your actual Kinect. So go ahead and do so.
So once you've opened up Kinect and you notice that the sensor is detected, you want to press New, start a new scan. You click Start, and here's where you're going to ensure that the subject you're scanning is appearing green. You can see what you're scanning in the box in the middle of the screen in full color, and then on the right what looks like a heat map. You want that to be green. Once you click the record button in the top left, it counts down and the scanning has begun. You want to make sure the whole time you're doing it that what you're scanning appears green. Chris is keeping the scanner pretty much perpendicular to who he's scanning or what he's scanning, not tilting the scanner but keeping it straight on. You notice that I'm holding the cords and laptop out of the scan. Here's our last area from the direct front. Click Stop when we're finished, and then the file processes. You can see the grayish or light gray model in the center there. And there's even a set of lines or dots that trace the movements made with the scanner. And then click Process. Click Watertight under Mesh, and it will further process the model. Make sure that it's 3D printable and fill in any tiny gaps that it may have missed during the scanning process. We can't print our model in full color on the printers we have. Save the file, export as an STL. You choose the units you'd like it to be exported as. Then you can either modify the file in some software like Tinkercad, or simply bring it in to your 3D printing software and have a little statue of your friend.
Setting up your file to print in the MakerBot software. First, locate your file and add it to the MakerBot software. Go ahead and scale it to fit if it's too large for the actual platform. You can further adjust the scale to be the size that you actually need. Once you have the right size, go ahead and preview your print. The preview will show you the resolution, if you have your RAFs on, and if you have your supports on. It'll also give you an estimated print time.
You'll be able to see in this time lapse that the print is pretty accurate to what we scanned. Okay guys, thanks for joining us on our first episode here at Studio NPL. Chris, did you learn anything?
I learned a lot about filming, how to scan and how to print everything. Hope you guys learned something as well, and hope you guys come to join us at our next episode.
Bye.
Until next time, bye.
think banana split, you might not think healthy, but substituting plain non-fat Greek yogurt for ice cream will turn this dessert into a much healthier alternative. Greek yogurt has been strained, making it thicker than other yogurts. This can help make it seem closer to the real thing, especially when you're serving your little ones. It is high in protein, which can help you to feel fuller longer. It also serves as a good source of calcium and probiotics, which are good for your bones and your gut. This recipe should only take you about 5 minutes to prepare. You will need a knife, cutting board, measuring cup, spoons, and plates. Make sure that you are using safe knife practices by cutting away from yourself on a steady cutting board. Split the bananas in half lengthwise, carefully with the knife. Then add half cup of Greek yogurt in the middle. You can sprinkle the yogurt with your desired toppings. Berries such as strawberries and raspberries, black and blueberries are a great option. They are high in antioxidants which protect our bodies as well as vitamins and minerals. They are also high in fiber which help reduce hunger and increases feelings of fullness. Berries are delicious and nutritious additions to cereals, salads, yogurt, or just eaten on their own. The Build Your Own Banana Split can become as loaded with healthy toppings as you and your family would like. Nuts or oats might be other good additions. This is another easy dessert that can become a family favorite.
Hi, I'm Shasta Brown. I am your guest mentor for Studio NPL, and we're actually going to be talking about how to make a quilt with scraps from scratch with no machines. So the first thing that you want to do is just if you have some extra fabric, doesn't matter what color, any combination that you want. And then you're going to take these scraps of fabric and you're going to cut them in squares, triangles, all different shapes. But for today, we're going to keep it really simple. So we're going to do squares. You're going to cut your squares in 3 inches, 4 inches, whatever your fabric allows. And then you're going to put them together in a pattern similar to this. You're going to have a white and a blue. You're going to alternate the colors so that you have a nice pattern. And this particular pattern is actually called a 9 patch because there are 9 pieces to this particular pattern. And then once you get those cut, you're going to start sewing them together. You're going to end up with something similar to this. Anybody can do it. It's a straight stitch, needle and thread, put the 2 pieces together, sew them, and then open them up and sew the next one. Once you get all of your pieces sewn together, you can start to get a bigger and bigger and bigger quilt, however big you want it to go. And this is what your grandmas and grandmas did. They took scraps from where they've made their shirts and their skirts and the different pants, and they put them together and they've made a patchwork quilt. Once you get all of the pieces together, you're going to have a larger piece, something similar to this. So once you have your entire quilt, however big that you want it to be and whatever pattern you want it to be, then we're going to actually stitch it together. We're going to quilt it. So you have your quilt top, and then you want to have a middle piece, which is called batting. A lot of times it's just cotton, really, really soft, and then you have a backing fabric. Whatever color you want it to be, it doesn't have to be anything that somebody else likes, whatever you like. Then you're going to put them together in a sandwich with the middle piece, the bottom, and then your quilt top. And this is what makes a quilt unique because we're going to stitch all of it together. When your grandmas and your great-grandmothers and even maybe your moms, when they were quilting, they actually would put them on a much larger frame. But if you have something similar to this, you basically make a sandwich, tighten it up so that it's just enough where the fabric moves. You don't want it too tight so that you can't get your needle in it, but you don't want it too loose either. So this works out really good. Most of the time when you're stitching these, you want to have a pattern, but you can also just do straight stitching. To start out, that's probably the easiest thing to do. Initially, you're going to want to have a larger needle than what I'm using, so this one's kind of small. And then you just want to start stitching along the edges. So what we're going to do is we're going to start stitching beside this row and mimic that on all the way around every one of them. So we're going to put our thread in. We're going to pop it through the bottom. I'm going to sit down here. If you have a smaller one, you can actually get the smaller ones like this instead of having a really long one or a really big one. And that might make it easier if you don't want to have anything that's really, really big because it's going to be easier to handle if it's a smaller piece. And I've already stitched some of the pieces in here. So that's what we're going to be duplicating on this one. They will tell you that if you can get 8 stitches to an inch, that is a master. I don't get quite that many. And so we just start stitching up and down. If you have the ability to put a lot of stitches on your needle, that's great too. Usually it's 3 or 4 because you want your stitches to be as close to the same length as possible. And you can also draw designs if you wanted to have something different than a straight line. And then you just work through the entire quilt, block by block, and that's it. So while all of this was very simple, very concise, you could get a lot more detailed. The quilt that's in front of me is a quilt that was done by hand. So the pieces that are on top were hand appliqued to the background, and then all of the grid that you see was completely hand quilted, actually in this same frame. It took a long time, it's very tedious, you have to mark your grids so that you get everything really straight, but basically it was nothing but time, hands, and threads. Hope you enjoyed this. Get some fabric and happy quilting.